In today's episode of the podcast, we are exploring how taking time to celebrate the wins in your day-to-day life can prime your brain for more of the same. I am your host, Elle Edwards. I'm bringing you coaching, training, and this podcast to help you embrace your inner weirdo so you can make Jesus CEO in your life and business. And as ever, I remind you of this almost every single episode. I'm going to continue to do so. If this is something that you would like some actual proper my eyeballs on it type stuff, you want some direct to you advice, book a time for the two of us to have a conversation. faithandbusinessplayground.com/talk. In the meantime, let's get on with today's episode. Now then, in today's episode, I'm actually going to remind you of one of my favorite ever things. Long-time listeners who, if you listened yesterday and you've been around for a little while, you might already know what I'm going to be digging into today. And if you did, after listening to this, you went, yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Tell me, because it'll make me smile and I think it's delightful. However, we are actually talking about the reticular activating system. Now, one of my superpowers, if you like, is taking big concepts and things that can be quite hard to understand and making them down to earth and realistic and actionable. However, when it comes to the reticular activating system, I like to use the proper words because it's sciencey, it's actual brain science. And by using the proper words, it helps to cement it. However, if you don't like the big long words, I also sometimes refer to this as yellow car syndrome. The internet refers to it as blue car syndrome. I call it yellow car syndrome because I've got a yellow car. So the quick catch up for this, if you've never come across this before, there is a part at the back of your brain, there's a piece of your brain that does lots of things. The reticular activating system controls body temperature and all sorts of clever stuff that I don't know about. But the bit that it also does that is interesting from our perspective is it acts as a filter. And so the reason why I call it like yellow car syndrome is because 8 years ago, a number of years ago, I bought a new car and my new car was yellow. And prior to that occasion, I hadn't seen yellow cars on the road at all. And suddenly I bought a yellow car and there were yellow cars everywhere. And I'm sure maybe you've had this experience. I'm sure maybe that's a contradiction. I am sure that you've actually had this experience yourself. Maybe you found out that you or someone you care about is pregnant and suddenly you start seeing pregnant ladies everywhere. Or using the car example, you buy a car and you see models of the same model as your car everywhere. The reason that this happens isn't that suddenly there are a lot more pregnant people, and it's not that suddenly everybody in your street owns the same car as you. It's because of your reticular activating system in your brain. You've got so many bits of information being thrown at you every single day. Your brain filters it, much the same way that the Facebook algorithm filters our experiences. If you've, at the time of recording this, Facebook have just launched a new update and they're now focusing on groups a lot more. And I don't know about you, but I'm suddenly seeing all of the posts from all of the groups I'm in first before anything else. Facebook has decided that groups are important, and which groups it will show me over time will depend upon which ones I interact with. Much like how your brain, you get a yellow car and suddenly your brain goes, oh, yellow cars are important to her. Let's show her some more. Silly, simple example, but it's an actual concrete one that makes it easy to explain. Now, why celebrating and taking time to just pause and reflect on the things that are wins in your day-to-day life, why that's important is that act of pausing and reflecting and celebrating signals to your brain that that stuff is important, and it will help you do more of the same. So, this is the other reason why, and this gets into the goal setting stuff that we're going to talk about in future episodes. But this is the biggest reason, and I probably will mention. I'm laughing because I will probably mention this again when we get to those episodes, because I imagine not everybody listens to every single episode. But this is the reason why goal setting is actually so important. It's because it's not the actual act of goal setting that is useful. It can be great. But the reason why it's actually important is it shows your brain very concretely what is important to you. And having decided on what those things are you want to work on, your brain will start bringing things to your attention that will help you towards that goal. And so this is why celebrating those wins is important, because every time you take time to recognize and acknowledge and be thankful for and celebrate in some way an achievement, your brain will go, oh yeah, she likes that stuff. Oh yeah, she likes that feeling. And you will start to see more examples of the same, and you will start to see more opportunities. So you really can, as well as actually enjoying those feelings, because let's be honest, when we celebrate, when we're happy, when we're enjoying those feelings, they feel nice. I don't know if you've ever done this. Have you ever paused and reflected upon where you feel happiness in your body? If you've never done this before, I would encourage you to give it a try. I noticed this one time when I was out walking the dogs around the pond. It was a really lovely day. And I mean, I like taking them out most days. But, some days you just really feel like, it just feels wonderful. And I noticed these warm feelings in my body. It was kind of like I want to say under my solar plexus. I think that's the part. It was just felt this warmth radiating. And so you enjoy those feelings and they're lovely. But it also then, the act of enjoying it, not only do you get to enjoy those feelings, you're actually then saying to your brain, more of the same, please. So it's like a double win. What I would really encourage you to do, and this is where the goal setting piece sort of comes in as well, is if you can start to anticipate the pleasure of the win. So you get a good feeling and anticipating the pleasure of the win, you get a good feeling from that. Then you have the actual win itself and it makes you feel happy. And then later the same day or a few days afterwards, you reflect on how lovely it felt. You actually get 3 hits of happiness from one celebration. Like, how is that? That's like a triple win. So it really is one of those things that if you find it hard to celebrate, if it's not something that you're actively, consciously doing, I want to really, hopefully through these episodes, encourage you to start thinking about how you can do this more and more. I'm just looking at my notes for the rest of the episodes. Yeah, I will give you some concrete examples of things that you can do and how you can bring this into your day-to-day life in Friday's episode. So stick with me. This isn't going to be just lots of inspirational stuff. I am going to give you some concrete ideas as well. So it's a mix of both. But today, really, I just wanted to remind you why this stuff is important, and for the benefit of people who haven't been around and listened to every single episode and haven't come across yellow car syndrome before, introduce you to it because it's a really neat part of brain science, and it's really cool. I get really excited, I'm really geeky about it because it is one of my favorite things. But like I say, concrete examples coming later in the week. Tomorrow we're going to be thinking about celebration and faith, because you'll have heard me say yesterday, if you've been following along, that all of the 4 areas of things that I work on with clients and what we're going to be exploring in the next 4 weeks, these 4 areas, they're all underpinned by faith. All of it counts. All of it is faith. But we're going to be digging into that tomorrow in a lot more concrete, and I'll give you some examples and actually what I mean by that, and my reason for saying, right, this is faith as well. That's coming up tomorrow. So if you're not subscribed, of course, do please subscribe. Go to faithandbusinessplayground.com/listen. There's a number of buttons you can click that will help you to subscribe in your favorite podcasting app. Or you can also you can also subscribe or listen along using your Alexa-enabled device. I just glanced over in the corner.
You want to enable?
There you go. So I knew you should do that. I don't know if my mic is going to pick that up, but every time I say the name of the device, which I'm not going to say again because she'll say it again, she hears her name and then she wakes up. However, if the mic didn't pick that up, you're going to be sitting there thinking, what on earth is she on about? You're completely bonkers, though. Yep, see? Hang on.
Go to the skills section of the Alexa app.
There you go. Hopefully the mic picked that up. Otherwise, you just got a great big long silence. Anyway, I shall be back tomorrow where we are going to be digging into celebration and faith. And it's going to be a really fun one. In the meantime, thank you for listening. If you would like some one-on-one help with this stuff, final reminder of that, final reminder for today, faithandbusinessplayground.com/talk is the link you need to get yourself on my calendar. But I'll be back tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.